And the president wants $3 trillion in more spending and 2.5 of new debt. The fastest growing part of the budget is the debt interest, now 6% of the budget. In 6 years, that debt interest will be higher than our national defense budget. Of course, the entitlement Medicaid and Medicare budget is still much higher and out of control. There now is $500 billion in excess budget spending. The only light out of their speeches was with the new senators elected, the new Congress. Rich is now 50th in seniority and Crapo is 20th. Senator Crapo is the chairman of the committee that picks who will be on the other Senate committees. Now a few Idaho budgetary facts. The 2015 population of Idaho is 1,704,700, which is about 37th in size of the states. Idaho's economy adjusted real domestic product was $57 billion in 2013. The general fund revenues for 2015 are just near $2,970,000,000, of which 47% comes from individual income taxes, 7% from corporate income taxes, and 41% from sales tax. The balance is miscellaneous. The appropriations by fund source are, and this will include the federal funds, $6,687,940,500, of which the general fund is 44%, dedicated funds at 20%, and the included federal funds at 36%, primarily Medicaid. From the general fund appropriations, education, and this is just the general fund again, is 61% at $1,780,000,000, and health and human services is $681 million, or 23% of the general fund. Again, health and human service, health and welfare gets most of their money from the federal funds. The total with other expenditures is $2,936,000,000 for 2015. Part of those other expenditures from the general fund is public safety, our prisons. Idaho in violent crime and murder is 44th, near the bottom. But in incarceration, Idaho is 10th, near the top in the number of prisoners per 100,000 population. First in the number, or the most in the Northwest. That is an area where we need to reduce the number of low-risk prisoners and put more of those dollars on their treatments. I've certainly found out it was easier being an armchair legislator at home excuse me, rather than being in committees and voting the House, truly knowing what goes on. Even with the Freedom Foundation and Wayne Hoffman, which I highly respect, along with his policy review person, Parrish, I do not always agree with their analysis of a bill. Parrish stated he understands that. They look at it not what it will do, but what it will cost, either to the public or to the state government. There was one such bill on my committee in health and welfare, which actually the Freedom Foundation rated as a -3, but I felt that I needed to vote for it from what I knew from it in more details from the committee. Some of the most emails I receive are on Medicaid expansion, of which I will repeat what Benjamin Franklin phrased. I am for doing good to the poor, but I differ in opinion of the means. I think the best way of doing good to the poor is not making it easy in poverty, but leading or driving them out of it. The more public provisions are made for the poor, the less they provide for themselves and therefore become poorer. Abraham Lincoln also stated, "You cannot bring about prosperity by discouraging thrift. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot further the brotherhood of man by encouraging class hatred. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot keep out of trouble by spending more than you earn. You cannot build character and courage by taking away man's initiative and independence. You cannot establish security on borrowed money. You cannot help small men by tearing down big men. You cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. Again, that was from Abraham Lincoln. We need personal freedom that all Idahoans can live as they want, as long as it does not harm or infringe on another's rights. It is more difficult to love our neighbors when government is trying to do it for you. We need to quit going to government for our needs. Economic freedom, growing an economy with reduced tax rates and reduced government spending so we all have a chance to earn more money and businesses can hire more people. There are some areas that government is supposed to be involved. Transportation infrastructure is one area. Approximately 650,000 Idahoans travel to and from work on Idaho roads each day. Trucks carry more than 150 million tons of freight each year on our roads. The state transportation system has 12,284 land miles, 1,824 bridges, with 761 over 50 years of age. The local transportation system is 63,607 lane miles, including the unpaved, and 2,375 bridges with 702 over 50 years of age. There was 22,348 total crashes in 2013. 200 were fatal. At an economic cost of $2.6 billion. We must increase our road and bridge revenue. $262 million is needed just to maintain the same condition as it is today. $543 million to enhance safety and capacity. The last time Idaho raised the gas tax was in 1997. It is 25 cents per gallon plus 1 cent transfer fee for gasoline and diesel. The federal tax is 18.4 cents for gasoline and 24.4 cents for diesel. We actually are the lowest of the surrounding states for gas tax, except for by 1 cent with one of the states surrounding us, and by far the lowest cost of annual vehicle registration fees, which have not increased since 1996. Of the federal gas taxes, we do get back $1.65 from the feds for every $1 sent to them. The distribution of revenue for transportation costs goes 57% to the Idaho State Transportation Department, 38% to the local highway departments, and 5% to the Idaho State Police. Thursday, I was fortunate. I was given VIP tickets to the Ada County 104th Annual Lincoln Day Association dinner from two legislators that weren't able to attend. So Sue and I got to sit up front near the stage with House Speaker Betke and his wife, Byron York, a chief political correspondent for the Washington Examiner, I've seen on Fox many times, and frequent guest on television and radio, along with Michael Murphy, a political media Republican strategist, gave their thoughts on the upcoming presidential election, along with their answers to other questions. Which reminds me, this coming weekend, the 28th of February, I might be late in my fireside chat, Week at a Glance, cam video recording, because I will be Saturday at a Meet Your Legislators at the Post Falls American Legion from noon to 2 p.m. Then I hope to make the town hall that Senator Crapo will be at in Athol at the Saddleback Inn around 3 p.m. Finally, I will attend our Kootenai County Lincoln Day Republican dinner from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Coeur d'Alene Resort. I hope to see many of you there. I pray God blesses each of you and your family, and that God blesses our sovereign state of Idaho. And finally, that He powers the new U.S. Congress to reclaim our liberty and freedoms. by leading as the Constitution he inspired the framers to write by that Constitution dictates. Thank you again. God bless.